Welcome in to all the replay viewers, all the live viewers. We are here. Deborah made it the first one in the chat. Thank you, everybody coming in. We are just waiting. If you remember when they ended the last one, they said it could be they had a lot to go through, I guess, in this. They're in an executive meeting closed to the public, and I guess it might go longer. So that's why it's delayed. It's not canceled. It's just they're in a closed meeting. They have to do everything on their agenda for the closed meeting, and then they open it back up as soon as they're done. While we're waiting for that, I did want to show you guys something. I have everything being monitored, but I want you guys to watch a special that I did with a very well-known. He's got 1.2 million subscribers, and I actually did a special with him. We're gonna just give a little bit of a watch to this because I think it's gonna. A lot of people didn't know I did this with very well known. Give him a shout out, Nick Johnson from YouTube. 1.2 million subscribers. He came out to Tucson. We're gonna watch this right now while we're waiting for the meeting to come in. And here we go. Thank you guys for tuning. I'm going to just get this thing fired up, and here we go.
Oh my God, look at this guy. He's throwing a hatchet at a park. I think there's a person under there. What in the hell is going on? We saw a lot of that in Tucson, Arizona. Drove around for 2 days. We were just in disbelief at how bad things have gotten here. It's another large U.S. city that's collapsing because of drug abuse and violence, and they don't enforce any law here. It is lawless. It's frightening to see how fast a society can unravel when there's no rules, nothing's enforced. It's open-air drug use and chaos in every park, every intersection, every gas station. It's just crazy. So in this video, we did a ride-along with a community activist named Damien, who runs a popular Facebook page in town called 857 Tucson. This guy right here is tapped in. He knows everything that's going on in Tucson. So we rode around and we talked about it. How bad is Tucson now? Like, what is going on? You've got your Facebook page. You talk about it all the time. What is going on in Tucson? How has it changed?
Well, fentanyl is what changed it all. I mean, obviously, drug smuggling has always been a thing. It used to be marijuana, cocaine, meth, and those were all. But then once fentanyl came, it changed everything. And so, being right now, you could drive and you could be at the border in 1 hour. That the pills here are $3, $2 for a fentanyl pill, and so it's just people will move here even from California, from Phoenix, because Tucson is obviously closer to the border. If you can imagine, closer to the border, it's going to be cheaper. And the community, as far as the leaders, are more acceptable. And then it goes up into the justice system where people get arrested. There's one guy, he had 23 warrants, and so they'll just get arrested. They'll be out the next day. There's no support.
Catch and release.
Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt. Who do you blame that on here in Tucson?
Well, it's hard to say it's not the leadership because there's nothing being done to address it, even though everybody says, oh, it happens in every city, every state, this is going on. I think what it comes down to is it's not really about who to blame. It's about what solutions are they to come up with it. We could blame the leaders, which Tucson is a real radical, progressive, hey, let's give them hugs instead of jail. That's kind of mentality, which, it might work for some. Are they fighting?
Probably.
Yeah, I think that was
I heard that I think you told me they busted like 50,000 fentanyl pills, or what was that big bust?
Oh, it happens at least once a week, sometimes a little less, but there's been some massive busts. And the one that I was talking to you about was 50,000 fentanyl pills. There's been tons of those 30,000. He actually tried to flush a kilo, or he did flush a kilo. Look at this. Green light, and he just tried to go. Can't even avoid it. These people are just so out of their minds. They just go in front of green lights. So here's the thing. 100 Acres Woods is right up there.
Okay. So I'm going to fly the drone. We're going to pull over. I can try to get the drone up right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This is where.
This is the big
just
homeless
have to
camp.
be. I think I'm going to stay in the car.
Yeah.
And because, like I said, they come out of these alleys, and I feel sorry for these neighbors right here.
There's a giant homeless camp right behind these houses.
That's what I want to ask you. Is right here.
They're not as close. If they pop out, they're going to be pissed off. We're
well,
too
the
close
families,
back there.
yeah, and all those houses.
Okay,
are
so we should
close.
park further back. Why don't we park up on this? Then we're further away. Like that guy right there might be a drug dealer.
I don't know. I think he's going into that building. This is across the street. We're going to do a U,
Okay.
but that's the 100 Acres.
Big giant homeless camp over
Right
there.
across the street from the Border Patrol station.
Oh, that's why I couldn't get the drone out. Border Patrol tents and stuff in there. Oh my God, someone's got a flag. Oh my God, look at that.
Now, here's what's crazy is this is actually a more civilized homeless encampment. There's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
There's there's generators that go on it.
All right, let's see here. Holy shit. All right, your mic is on, so
Okay.
I'll hear you if you say something.
Yep. Yeah, so there's lots of, obviously
Look
you can
at
see
this.
all the
All right,
trash.
so this is,
But
this has been a big problem for how long, this homeless camp?
well, it's been going on. It's been here for probably 7-8 years, and they'll clear it out, and then it comes back. They'll clear it out, and so every year it gets cleared out once or twice a year. The people come back.
This entire park out here on the edge of Tucson on a 100-degree day. How do these people do it? This is considered a cool day today. I don't know how they do it. So when you look up the statistics, Tucson's drugs, crime, murders, all that stuff is like super high, right?
Yeah, I mean, over
Like highest in the state of Arizona.
yeah, I mean, Tucson right now, the homicide rate is I think 20 or 30% higher than last year. But what the leaders do is in 2019, a lot of liberal cities, they adopted this thing called a pre-deflection arrest. So instead of arresting people, they're saying, we're going to get you help. And so if they deny help, they just don't get arrested. And so what happens, this pre-deflection arrest is even if they get arrested, there's no real consequences. They're out on the streets in, a couple days. But now what has happened is it's become so accepted that this is the new normal. It's not even about, we're going to get it down to, it's like, this is normal now. It's not what it used to be. So we should all accept how bad it's got. And
All right, is there anywhere close by? Where can we see some action, Damien? Like, where are the hot spots?
the hot spots, good. The thing about today is it is hot. And right now, 4 o'clock is the hottest time in Arizona.
Yeah.
So everybody's hiding out, obviously. But the trains, this area right here, like I said, because it's so spread out in our free buses, that they can just jump on a train right here if they wanted. And they do that a lot of times, and they can take that to New Mexico, do some train hopping. So everything that a vagrant would want is here. Free bus, cheap drugs, an acceptable low police, so no police really. If you do something, you'll be out. No, nothing's gonna happen. So there's really, the only thing that's gonna take is pretty much a big crisis. Treat it like a crisis. More officers, and then you got to clear out each area one by one. So if there's a Circle K, you can bet there's going to be, 10 or 20. So that's why it's like to take you to one area, it's scattered.
Can we go that way so I can
We
just get a
can,
quick little... Yeah, I mean, we're literally, it's almost like I can't even focus. There's so many around here that I'm trying to turn the camera and we're pointing
and you got to watch out because they will jump out. We have one of the highest fatality rates for people that are
oh, look, there's more back here.
That are pedestrians getting hit.
This is a huge crisis. There's people wandering around.
No,
and this is nothing, dude. It's 93.
And they know what they're doing and they don't care because no one's gonna come say anything. He's buying the drugs, selling the drugs or something right there, I bet.
Yeah.
And this is all down this road, all the way up 3 blocks. Look at the face tattoos on that guy. Hey, I got a guy in town. He does documentaries on stuff. He's been traveling all over America, actually, not just Tucson. I mean, he's been everywhere. We're talking everywhere. He's in Tucson. We're driving around today, and he's going to be in town for this evening and tomorrow. Can I have him give you a call to do a little interview? You got yourself an interview with the guy who's running for United States Congress right now, District 7.
Dan Gutierrez.
He's running for Congress here in a special election that's going on right now. He says he has a plan to fix Tucson, and that's what he wants to do.
Tucson's going to start looking like Chicago, and it's just going to be one big ghetto. They figure small crimes, they just let them go. They get them and they release them. And what's happening is these people are beginning to feel more emboldened. So the crimes get bigger and bigger. The crimes are getting larger and larger and larger because they're feeling more and more invincible. They think that they're above the law. And we've got to stop this. We've got to hold people accountable.
There's the Circle K, there's the crackheads. And then this Circle K, at least once or twice a day is something's going on. And then this is the famous park where it's actually milding down, but it's not. It is, but it isn't.
We got some action right here. Whoa, slow down.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
It's all right.
She's smoking her crack.
Look
He's
at this
doing
guy.
crack right there.
Can you go back through that?
I can. You just got to be careful. This is real dangerous area. These people have weapons and shit. And guns, and so you want to be a
More
little
discreet.
bit
Oh,
discreet.
look at this. Go right really quick.
Yeah, no, that's
You don't
what
have
I'm
to
saying.
slow down. Can you do the window so I can see how? Okay, that's good. Dude, this whole park, it was just...
This is actually, compared to what it used to be, is mild. But it's just a hit or a miss. And they'll stroll around different areas. Cars will pull up and get the drugs. See, look at this guy getting his drugs.
There's a drug deal going on right here. That guy was, I mean, this is just, holy crap.
Yeah, see that they
you can go straight. You don't have to go back around again.
You're like,
they were like looking at me like a
mad dogging.
Like a wolf would be looking at like a sheep.
That's what I'm saying.
Ears went down and eyes lit up, and they were like, ooh, like I could see it in their eyes that like ready to fucking pounce if I were to like go through there.
No, that's why I don't do a lot of these, and if I do, I'm always really careful.
You don't go through the same area twice.
No.
This has a telephoto lens. I would like say park down the street and I can zoom in, but I think we blew our cover.
When you cruise down the road, it doesn't stop slow in those areas or even stop in those parks because they do carry guns. And they don't have any problem firing them off.
Yeah? Kids don't have anything to do, so they get in trouble.
They don't, and so they get caught up real easy, and they get stuck in the generational. Look, another car pulled up already.
Yeah, there's all kinds of. Oh, can we park here? Go around the block, and we'll face that way, and we'll just park. Just pull over. I'll show you where. Let's see if we can. Or we're like undercover. All right. So we are in a hot spot. This guy's walking by. There has been a lot of drug activity. I mean, there's people just buying and selling right at a public park. And I know I sound like a grandpa, like, you know what I mean? But why are they allowing this? We saw 2 people pull up and buy drugs in a minute.
Yeah, they stay on these $1 million parks with the playground, and they have sex in the playground equipment because no one can see them. So that's where they do their drugs. But we probably don't want to stay that long just because they do have lookouts. Everybody, there's the main guy.
Yeah.
Everybody's always on the lookout, right? Always on the lookout. So as much as
Even you think someone's looking at us right now?
No, they already know we're here. They already know we're here. It's a culture.
All right. Well, we got some footage of in between drug deal. We've been driving around Tucson for about a couple hours, and I feel like Damien's. I keep saying come do something dangerous, and he's like, I can't do that. It's dangerous. I get it, man. You're being a good sport. For doing this right now.
Well, a lot of it is just knowing these people, man.
They're crazy.
And
we shouldn't
in
even
different
be doing what we're
states.
doing.
This is Arizona.
Yeah.
It's a little more like you said, Wild West.
Yeah.
Some people have guns here, and they don't mind. They don't have a problem shooting them, and they don't like being filmed.
Oh, I know that. Oh, look at this dude.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let me see what we got here. All right, here's another area. This is a bus stop. They seem to let them linger at the bus stops, right?
Yeah, the
It's
free
like-
bus stops have turned into basically their hangouts, and the officers, they don't really enforce it.
It's
And
like even a shootout spot. The bus stops are. I mean, who would want to ride the bus when you got to go and stand? And I mean, they've hijacked the public transportation.
Yeah, just since this September, today's the 7th.
Yeah.
There's already been like 6 or 7 shootings. There's been a shooting a day, or two
in Tucson.
in Tucson just this month. This week, I've been working with a mother, and her son was murdered, 15 years old, murdered over here in front of a house party. And so a lot of it is the youth too.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on for the youth. Now this is this area. So this is the hotel that I would be suggesting.
The Grand Lux. Look at there's like an orange thing on the window, on the door.
Yeah, there's been murders here, shootings.
So this is the worst hotel.
It's there's probably 10 of them that you could call
there's
the worst.
doors. Look at all the doors have orange. What does that mean?
That means they've been taken over.
Condemned?
Yeah, condemned.
What? Can we go along the that side so I can out the window? I can get the orange.
This is just one of those areas you don't want to stay long though, as far as like
filming.
Where you don't know your surroundings. Is that a security? Security, yeah. So,
all right, so this is the Grand Lux.
well, and that's the thing is there are some people that are generally homeless, and this could be a good refuge because it's inexpensive, and hey, I got a place. But then you got the druggies that will come in. Now I haven't seen about these signs and them being condemned, so that's
So
new.
what is this? Let me get a shot. Do not enter unsafe.
I need to get a photo
Hang
of
on one
that.
second. Do not enter unsafe to occupy. Holy shit! Like, it's it's almost every
Yeah,
fucking
let me
room.
get a.
Yeah, dude.
I'll just get a photo.
Yeah. You want to hop out? Look at the
Nah,
whole.
I'll just zoom in.
Dude, it's almost every room.
Yeah, I need to get a photo of that.
Oh my God. Like, what? I can't even understand what would have happened. This is like an influencer's dream right now. We're both filming.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Hey, buddy, are all of these condemned? You don't know? Thank you, sir.
And our country became flooded with drugs. Flooded. And that's caused a big problem that we have in Tucson, which is called zombie land. Because I don't know if you noticed while you were in Tucson, you'll see people just standing on their feet, hungover, sleeping. They're sleeping. I mean, this is what this drug, this fentanyl, does to these people. It's killing them. Our people are dying. And that's another reason why I'm against housing first, because you're not taking care of the thing that's killing them. Okay? If you care about these people, then we need to address the fentanyl, the addiction. We need to focus on that, then focus on the housing. Because if you give them a sandwich and you give them a warm bed to sleep in, okay, you don't care about them. All you've done is given them a full stomach to take their fentanyl in and a nice warm bed to die in. Does that sound like compassion? I don't put down Democrats at all, because there's some really good Democrats. They just need to step up and realize their party's been hijacked by some far left extremists that want to infect our community with communism.
All these Circle Ks are hot spots for crime, shoplifting, and they go in there and they assault the employees. They steal whatever they want, and nobody stops them.
This is happening currently in Tucson. People are going into the Circle Ks, robbing, stealing, beating up, whatever, 7-Eleven, just causing problems.
Yeah, it's I would say about every hour there's 2 or 3 calls. Walgreens, yeah, and obviously it's sometimes multiple calls.
So yeah, I mean, these poor people that work at these convenience stores, the shit they have to deal with.
Yeah, no, it's bad. He knows he's getting filmed. He put his head down.
I think
quick.
he's just okay. Look,
And that's the
look
thing.
at these guys. Wait, will you stop right here? Okay.
Well, and that's the thing. Everybody out here,
Look at
most
these
of them have warrants, right? So they're always like worried about, what.
These two are just got their back. They just sat down like they're just, and they're just like janking on the right there,
So here's the.
right outside the Jiffy Lube.
But now, obviously we have the free bus that is spread out all over the city. And so instead of having 1 or 2 or 3 encampments, there's, encampments that are literally scattered over pretty much every zip code, even in some nice areas. Green light, they don't give a
Those
shit.
people almost got hit.
And this guy over here, he's definitely. Look, they don't even care. It's
They
green.
don't even notice. I don't think they even noticed the car.
This QT, I mean, you could park here and get footage for days. You know what I mean?
Just in and out.
And they go in these little groups. Sometimes it'll be a man and the woman, and she ends up becoming a prostitute. As far as going forward, I think the solution is just keep doing what we're doing and building the people that support law and order. Because when I grew up, man, hey, we were paranoid. We wouldn't think about doing half of this crap that they're doing. I mean, I understand being a kid, right, and having fun and doing some stupid crap. But this is some of this stuff. These younger generations are violent, and these drugs make them that way. Some of them are here in Tucson. They're on 3 or 4 different drugs, because what happens is they don't care what it is. They just want to get whatever. It could be heroin. It could be meth. It could be, of course, the fentanyl. But then now it's the powdered fentanyl.
I heard car fentanyl. What's this car fentanyl shit I'm hearing about? It's like 50 times stronger than fentanyl. Are you the one that told me about this?
Yeah,
No, that was a lady in Fresno.
I actually, I broke that when it first came out.
Car
here in
fentanyl.
Tucson. Car fentanyl.
What is car fentanyl?
It's just another extreme form of fentanyl. That's or like a fentanyl, but it's stronger.
Yeah.
But it's the fentanyl here. What happens is the pills all got they get mixed, and so the pills, from what I heard, the druggies, they don't want the pills anymore because they're not potent enough. because these people, they got to take 8 or 10 of those pills a day just to feel normal, right? And the powder is what they want now. They want fentanyl powder because for whatever reason, I don't know what the reason is.
I'm guessing because the pills don't
Pure.
work anymore.
Yeah, no, the pills do not work anymore.
So there's Chinese synthetic stuff coming in here too.
Yeah, so the you'll be hearing about it. You can get the name. I'll send it to you so you can put it on the screen. But it's synthetic methamphetamine. Imagine,
Okay.
you know what I mean? So basically, it's different kinds of synthetics, and that's where, you know, these people. There's like the salt bath kind of stuff, and you see people just acting. They're stripping their clothes off, and it's the same thing here. People, at least once a week, there's someone getting caught walking down the street naked. You know, and so these people are literally a danger to themselves and others. And so recently here in Arizona, they just passed a law that we are allowed to take people in that are a danger to themselves.
Oh, you mean like grab them and almost triage, forced rehab?
Yeah, well, and it's. I mean, people say, "Oh, you're forcing it," but are you forcing someone to save their life if you know that if they don't get help, they're gonna die? That's, to me, that's helping someone.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've been saying this all along.
yeah,
You just treat it like triage, grab people, calm them down, medicate them, counsel them, try to figure out who they are, what do they need. Everybody's a different situation.
yeah.
And you got to maybe hold them down and for a week or two and sober them up and slap them around and be like, hey, look, we can help you.
Thank you guys for watching this. We got only about a couple more minutes. The meeting is still delayed. I keep checking every second. It's still delayed. So they're in executive session. They might have taken a little bit longer, but we're just going to continue watching this documentary I made with Nick Johnson. Give him a shout out, Nick Johnson. Give him a follow. He came out here. We did this. And so here we go. We're going to continue watching it. Thank you.
And partly that's it. Is it's really
Tough
about
love.
it's about creating that support and the foundation for the first 30 days, right? And they don't even know who they are again until about 30 days, right? After 30 days, they can start to remember what is right from wrong again. But then the Narcan is also will save them lives, and they'll get Narcan, right? And they'll be out on the street the next day, sometimes the same day.
Sometimes like they get out of the ambulance and they're like, they get pissed. Why did you wake me up, dude? I was fine, man. And then they go looking for their next fix, and the ambulance people are like, what am I doing with my life? Like,
and they have to let them go.
I didn't sign up for this. I wanted to save people, and all I'm doing is reviving junkies.
That's what it is. I actually posted on my page because I used to post all the overdose calls every day as they came in, and it was too many. So I told my community, I said, I'm not posting overdose calls anymore because it's too many, it's too much, and it's going on too long. I can't sit here and be the only one posting. Right here, this is the park that I was mentioning. Used to be a big homeless encampment park. And then the city recently closed it up, and now they're fixing it up. But what happens now is there was, probably 100 to 200 people living here. They just get scattered to the next area.
So they had to redo the park because the homeless people ruined it so bad.
It was just run down, and it was a problem issue with just the amount of people that moved there. And when they would do the cleanups, the stuff that they would find, dead dogs that would be in the needles, everything like that. That's where I was at.
So they're still cleaning up. Tell me what just happened. You were driving by, somebody got beat up.
I was driving by actually, right. I was coming this way.
Like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. And I was driving down, and all of a sudden I heard Reed Park, which that's the Reed Park, man getting assaulted with a stick by 3 or 4 other individuals. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I heard that, I see 2 guys running.
Yeah.
Right. So then I pull into that Reed Park and I just see this guy. If you go to my Facebook, I'll share it with you. You can put it in your video.
Yeah.
Bloody, I mean, real massive gash. And he was trying to fight the officers too, even though he got attacked because he was probably just shocked.
Yeah.
So that just happened right there. But yeah, you saw the crime scene. These aren't massive encampments like you saw.
No.
These are, here's this wash right here, and there might be 10 people. I'm not saying areas. They'll pick a wash, but it has to be near Circle K, right? So that's where it's strategically placed where they can get to the Circle Ks and the QTs.
Yeah.
But where we're going now is a real famous park, kind of like the one that we saw closed.
Was it the one with the guy with the machete? I saw a guy with a machete on.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. No, it was a hatchet. My bad.
You know, but what it is they have little clans, so there might be, 5 or 6 encampments around one intersection, and they group up because if you want to stay safe,
You got to stick together.
you got to stick together.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, the homeless are more worried about being assaulted from people that they're out there with
Yeah.
than anything else.
Check the banner on
What
the
we need to
screen.
do is secure our border. We need to stop the drugs. And then we need to start helping these people get through treatment. Tucson's got a real problem. They don't know what they're doing. The leadership in Tucson doesn't know what they're doing. And they think housing first is the answer. It's about the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And we need to help these people by getting them off the drugs. So we need to take them and put them in a treatment facility first. Now, some people like my ideal, some people don't. Some people think it's too cold, but let me tell you something. If you care about the people out in the street, then you're going to have to give them some tough love.
So what's the solution to this? How do you turn this around? How do you get Tucson to be back to not being so sucky for crime and drugs and all of it?
Obviously there's just not one answer, but what I have suggested is they need to treat it like a crisis, right? The Band-Aids are not going to fix this. You can't, I mean, these programs that all these nonprofit programs, that's how Tucson creates a lot of jobs, right? All these court cases, well, that's someone they have to hire. All this money that's created from the drugs and the crime, the rehab facilities, they get money. It's all based on money. It's not about solutions, right? If they get rehab, that's great, right? Everyone's happy. But if they don't, no one cares. So the whole point is, if they treated it like a crisis, in meaning, I proposed on my page this week, we open up a healing center. It's a 40,000 square foot building. It was used to house asylum seekers. Over 200,000 asylum seekers went through this building. It was set up to be a shelter. In January, when Trump took office, they closed it. And so I've been suggesting for now 7 months, open up this building for our own American citizens. It's 40,000 square feet, and it's
So instead of rehabbing illegal immigrants that come to the country and counseling them and giving them a safe place, put Tucson residents in this building, but they won't do it.
no, now it sits empty. Some people feel sorry for these people, and I get a lot of hate mail. I'm sure you do too. Occasionally you'll get some. You're just taking advantage of. No, I'm bringing awareness so the public can see how bad it is. I actually have more compassion and empathy to get these people help, because when I see them, a lot of people just see a drug. I actually see hope. I'm seeing someone that, and I mean, I'm not saying all, because there's some that, if you got 3 dots and you killed 3 people, you're not helping that guy.
No.
Prison's only, but there are certain populations that are getting caught up, and they just need, I hate to say the word because people say it's cliche, they just need a little love, a little support. Most of them, either they don't have families or they've burned so many bridges that the families, they can't even have cut them out, to save their own livelihood or own peace of mind.
I came to Arizona to learn about a state that I didn't really know much about. What I stumbled into is a state that's being torn apart by lawlessness and greed. It's like the people running the criminal justice system here just don't care. Just let people run free, do whatever they want, no punishment, no laws. Why they do that? It's anybody's guess. Maybe you have an opinion. And that sucks because Tucson's a wonderful place otherwise.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Thank you for watching that. I am just going to pull up the meeting and see where we're at. I know it's kind of a waiting game now, and this is how it goes with these meetings. We're on their time. It's not anything but that. And so when they have their closed meetings, it's just going to take as long. There's really no telling. They said 1 o'clock, but as you could see, they're not here. So we're kind of in a waiting game. Maybe get a drink, maybe hang out, come back in a little bit. But I'm just kind of waiting because I don't want to have to restart it as soon as it starts up. So we'll put it on so you guys can see what they're showing to the public as we're all waiting. The public is waiting. I did make a post because I really don't agree with them cutting the public's time. If you guys rewind to that last video, the public is supposed to have 3 minutes to talk. But if there's 20 speakers for the meeting, they bring it down to 2 minutes. So say you're getting ready to do a speech to the supervisors, and you have a nice amount of stuff to say. It probably will take 3 minutes. Well, now you got to cut your whole speech down. Just because they decided, they made a rule because they don't want to listen to the public. They cut it. You saw how Jennifer Allen, that one, the lady in pink, how she cut people off. I mean, and they're cutting people off in their 2 minutes. I mean, it might have been 2 minutes, but let them finish their damn sentence. They need 3 minutes. Just because you guys want to come up with a rule, and now, in America, we should have the freedom of speech. If it's 3 minutes, just because 20 people showed up, doesn't mean I'm losing a minute. What kind of rule is that? Because they don't want to they don't want it to go on longer. I mean, they only have this meeting once a month. You'd think they could put in the time. So we're still in the waiting mode. I'm going to check the comments. I got to get myself a drink as well. Welcome in, Linda. Yeah, the rule is 3 minutes, but they put another rule in that if there's 20 speakers, that everybody only gets 2 minutes. So all those speakers literally came in. You saw them getting cut off. It's ridiculous. Nick says they don't want to hear the public. It doesn't fit their agenda or narrative. Wrong agenda. So let me know what you guys thought of the I forgot about that video that I did. And it was kind of perfect to share it at that time. We're trying to kill some time. And so shout out to Nick Johnson. Hopefully maybe I'll give him a call. Should give him a call and see if he can come back out to Tucson. Actually, I think his number's on my other phone, but maybe I'll do that later. It would be awesome. Tag Nick Johnson on X and tell him, 857 is hoping he can come back out. He's awesome. He's got a big following as well, and so we did that documentary last year. Um, we did that. I just got a message. So last year with Nick, he came out here. If you go to his page, he does a lot of great videos all across the nation. And also, let me see what else he does. Yeah, basically he does a lot of sightseeing and checking into different crime in different areas. But we are still waiting. They're an executive session, as you can see in the top right or left corner. It says executive session, which has gone over for 45 minutes. So it's like they can take as long as they want in their executive sessions, but they're gonna cut the public's time, right? So they'll go on for however long they need because they're in their own session. But as soon as the public is there, they're gonna cut 1 minute off of everybody. So this kind of stuff to me is a way for them to control the narrative, keep people quiet. They don't like listening to it. You notice none of them had a response to anybody. They just basically ignore it. You can tell by their face most of the time they're barely even listening to the public. So I'm gonna grab myself a drink. Welcome in. Everybody's maybe let us know where you're signing in. Chat amongst yourselves in the chat. We are just in waiting mode. I don't know how much longer, but let's just say we're closer than farther. I think I'm pretty, I'm just taking a guess and say maybe in the next, 5 to 15 minutes. It was supposed to start at 1 p.m. So they're already 47 minutes of their own time, So be right back, everyone. I'm missing. When will they make the decision on Nano? See, it's not that easy as far as you can't just make a decision. And that's the thing is change takes time and patience, but they're putting the pieces together. Right now, they're making it an agenda item, right? In the supervisor. You gotta go through the process. Now I don't know all the laws and how it's all done, but this is part of the process. The recall is part of the process. Now, a lot of people say, what's going to happen to Nanos? There's things that I don't know that they could act based on, as far as maybe he committed perjury. I don't know. We just don't know. So right now we will find out what the supervisors have on the agenda. They're going to bring up maybe what his differences on his resume, these kinds of things. So I'm kind of watching with you guys and learning, but I also know that it's not going to be easy to just get him fired. He's not going to just show up. He's an elected official, right? So any elected official has different protections, let's say protections where, the people, the public has to do certain things to get them out of office. Now, if he committed a felony or something like that, I don't know the rules with that, where how could they get him, fired? If he doesn't resign, could they get him fired? And there might be people in the chat that are into law. I do know we have a very smart, educated crowd, so he can step down. Yeah, he could step down. But the thing is if you know Nanos's personality just on what you guys are hearing, he most likely won't just step down. His ego won't let him. That's one thing about all the elected officials here is they will never admit when they're wrong as far as, hey, I need to step down. It's not how they operate. And a lot of elected, no matter what party it is, they're really gonna have to either get the recall, the signatures all done, 135,000 that they need, which I will be, telling you people where to go if you're in Pima County to get that, but it's not going to be easy. Now there are certain things I don't know. Maybe they could enact if he did break the law to get the job. Obviously, you heard about his past record. I have seen it, and it is. I don't know how anybody got another police job, let alone making it to chief with that record. I mean, it is. I mean, unconfirmed, but I heard he wrecked 6 police cars. 6 police cars he wrecked in El Paso before he got to Tucson. I mean, I can't. That just seems crazy. And then he was almost charged. I think someone said with a crime as an officer for some sort of incident. So, long story short, we're kind of watching and waiting together. I'm no expert. I do, try to stay educated and aware and understanding just like you all, but we're going to have a lawyer, maybe come into the chat. As you can see on the screen, it says the board executive will return shortly. We're at the, they run the place. They're taking their time on this, so we'll just wait. I'll be right back. And just talks amongst yourself. If anybody can answer each other's questions in the chat, that's what helps. I can't see all the questions. Just a tip: Nano leaves phone in his car when he goes to the gym. Yeah, that's. I got my interview with Nanos. I mean, I don't know if I want to go and try and get another interview, but maybe in the future I'll do it. Yeah, he does have lawsuits. Heather Lappin, what he did to Heather Lappin. 5 police cars. Okay. Well, I heard 6, but it could be 5. Um, so I'll be right back.
in the middle of the Arizona desert.
All right, everybody, I'm back. Oops. So basically, I forgot he did a follow-up video too. So obviously, this is dragging on with this board of supervisors. So I'm gonna play his follow-up video he did on his visit to Tucson. This is Nick Johnson. I'm looking as soon as the meeting starts. If you could let people that come into the chat asking about the meeting, as soon as it starts, as you can see on the screen right now, it is this follow-up one. We're going to watch this while we're waiting for the meeting. Still saying the Board of Supervisors is in executive session. Will return shortly. So in the meantime, we're going to put this documentary, Nick Johnson. He came out to Tucson. A community member told him about my channel, and so he, on his trip, he planned to come here. We had lunch, and it was just a great documentary of him spotlighting the crisis that our city's been in for a while. This was made in November of last year, so pre 2026. So here we're gonna listen to this. It's just a follow-up from what he did.
Just about in Mexico. There's a lot of people here now. The metro area has more than 1 million. The place is huge and hot and dirty, apparently. So Kim and I had to check it out ourselves and send back a dispatch. It's the kind of stuff that you guys like. Hee-haw from Tucson, Arizona, right? Now, a lot of people tell me, Nick, you need to come see Tucson. We need a lot of help. It's the kind of place that your audience is going to love. Check out this email from my buddy Mark. He talks about, Nick, please come to Tucson. The city's run by Democrats. There's people smoking meth. There's dope everywhere. Midtown's Tweakerville. There's people doing drugs all over at all the intersections, and they don't even do anything about it. We're a defunded city. We need this to go national. Nobody cares about us. Other people told me Tucson's extremely poverty-stricken. There's needles and condoms everywhere and trash on the ground. Now, I don't know if any of that's true. We've been here for a day already, and I haven't seen anything like that. We're about to go to the bad part of town, the part you guys like. Let's check out Tucson and see if it's as bad as people say right now. Oh my God, look at this guy. He's throwing a hatchet at a park. There's a lot of people that have taken over the parks. Well, that's just sad that we've got naloxone billboards in our country. Make sure you have it on you. So I already showed you guys how bad Tucson is, the drugs and all the homeless stuff. I did a video about it and showed you all the stuff we saw here. You can watch that video as well. Went totally viral. And I was surprised by that. You don't hear a lot about Tucson outside of Arizona. I was kind of surprised at how bad things are here. There's open air drug use all over the city, which is sad because it's an otherwise kind of cool place. But I'm not going to show hardly any of that stuff in this video. This video is about, is Tucson really the worst place to live in Arizona? And the short answer is, I think it is. It's really bad for Arizona. I like Arizona a lot. This was bad. Before I get to the Tucson is actually a pretty neat place part, you guys are sick and you're weird and you want to see the bad stuff first. So I'm going to start with Tucson's problems. Here you go. I'm in South Tucson, and this is the most troubled part of Tucson. This is kind of the most troubled part of Arizona. And it's just the poverty rate, the drug use in Tucson is the highest in the state. It's not even close. And it's getting worse. But, you know, this used to be a nice place. It is no longer really as nice as it once was, sadly. The poverty number here is double than where you live. Gangs, they got Bloods, Crips, Mexican gangs, and we're really close to the border, which is really the main problem. Is that the Mexican gangs control the area because they come up from the border, and this is just the first really big place that you come to when you leave Mexico. So the Mexican gangs are a big problem here, but it's the Bloods and Crips. Sex trafficking, that's a big deal here too. It's just a real big mess. It's one of the highest crime rates in the country right now. Tucson is definitely the highest in Arizona. Smugglers, cartels, weapons. There's even stories of abandoned houses with drug tunnels underneath them. I mean, it's really bad. It's so bad here with drugs. They were talking about putting in fentanyl tents, like fent tents, which are just safe injection sites all over the city. That's how bad things are here now.
I've lived here off and on and seen the gradual changes. When COVID hit, it got pretty bad for a bit, as everywhere did. I think the south side of Tucson got hit worse than others just because we're right on a corridor 50 miles from an unblocked border. And people weren't arresting people, and the streets got pretty bad on the south side.
Some Tucsonians say that they have urban trauma from living here. OMG. Not kidding. Look at this. This is my buddy Damien's Facebook group. It's called 857 Tucson. Can't ride the bus. There's crackheads everywhere. People are attacking one another with machetes. Gunshots at Denny's. Jesus. People say the cops are underfunded. More than half of felony cases aren't prosecuted. And that's a shame. We need people in office who actually want to enforce the law. It's crazy that they don't want to do that. And then they protest the people that are trying to do it. Unbelievable. What kind of stuff are people frustrated that has kind of overwhelmed Tucson lately?
What I've picked up from little law enforcement stuff that I'd talked to, they didn't have the funds. And so like South Tucson, when a cop, like, I don't know how it is now, but then I heard verbatim that if a cop clocked in at 6 a.m., he was going on calls from 6 a.m. the previous day. They were completely 24 hours behind.
We're super close to the Mexico border here. So you get a lot of illegal aliens that come up here. They're processed in houses here in the Tucson area. I guess you call them safe houses, processing houses. And then they're distributed throughout the community. And some of them wind up in communities around by you. And a lot of the illegal aliens wind up settling here and put an additional strain on the hospitals and the schools. They think 4% of residents in Arizona are illegal aliens. Can you imagine that? 4%? It's a lot. I hear that a lot of these grocery stores, the QTs, the Circle Ks, they've got it the worst. Sometimes they just have to close down because of all the problems that come with people going in the bathrooms and doing drugs or stealing, or the fights or the ghetto drama that happens with addicts in some of those places. A lot of people are like, arm the Circle K workers or with guns, or put armed security guards at Circle K. That's how bad things are here. I have friends that live here that say that I used to be able to walk around at night. I used to be able to walk around. I used to be able to enjoy it here in Tucson, and I just can't do that anymore. And that is a shame. All right, the famous Miracle Mile.
Not my first route.
All right, so this is the historic Miracle Mile. It's more well known now for being an area on the side of town where you've got no-tell motels, they call them. Crackheads, prostitutes, hotels you can get for $20 a night, hotels you can get by the hour. But this is definitely where a lot of the problems happen here in Tucson. Is I think this whole This whole area here has been taken over by motels that used to be nice that are not nice anymore. Somebody got killed in one of these motels not too long ago. I was told, don't go to Miracle Mile at night, Nick. I know you're brave and tough and strong, but these people are crazy. They'll just stab you for no reason.
Now I haven't seen about these signs and them being condemned, so that's
So
new.
what is this? Let me get a shot. Do not enter unsafe.
I need to get a photo
Hang
of
on one
that.
second. Do not enter unsafe to occupy. Holy, look at the whole.
I'll just zoom in.
Dude, it's almost every room.
Yeah, I need to get a photo of that.
Oh my God. Like, what? I can't even understand what would have happened. This was the worst of the hotels we saw. The place was practically condemned from all the drug making that's gone on inside. I didn't even show you the worst of it in the previous video. All right. So, worst hotel in Arizona for sure. This one has a bullet hole in the window, I think. Oh, look at that spacious room with the beautiful blanket. I think this one, somebody had fun in there last night. But yeah, the entire side of this hotel, I'd say more than half of the rooms are unsafe to occupy for whatever reason. But I bet the crackheads would be like, I'll stay in there. I don't give a shit. God, Tucson. Tucson's finest.
I'll get these people out of here. Better not be any migrants in this hotel.
Well, that is a big gun, Mappy.
I need this gun because people in the U.S. are actually protesting enforcing the law. ICE and I have a lot to deal with. No, me, senor. I legal. Here for work.
Juan, you should probably just go on back to work and keep a low profile. Believe me. Mappy, we can't do mass sweeps and just grab everybody. A lot of these folks have families, even the drug addicts.
Ain't the law that's gone soft. It's the backbone of folks that quit standing tall. Hee-haw!
Hee-haw! Hee-haw! Hee-haw! Hee-haw! I think there's a person under there. Tucson has this all over the place. Druggies at bus stops, all over the Circle K's, just wandering around. But actually, here's the part where I didn't see any of that. Kinda. And this is the 4th Street, kind of little corridor near downtown. It is dead. There's one car. Okay, it's Sunday morning in downtown Tucson. It's about 7 a.m. I'm still getting used to the time change. I'm up at 3 in the morning. Sometimes it sucks. Downtown Tucson's great. For all the people that say downtown Tucson is ruined with bums and drugs and homelessness and sketchy, we've been walking around for 2 days and it is just, there's nothing around. It's just super clean and safe. Yeah, there's going to be a few random people, but God. Okay, that guy just came out of the porta potty. Obviously just did some drugs. There's a lot of people in the park, so this might be the case. A lot of cities just tell them, you can't be downtown. Because right on the edge of downtown, there's a bunch of junkies and stuff in this park over here. Okay, well, this kid got shot and killed not too far from here. What the hell? We're at the bus stop, so this is the central. This is the reason everybody says downtown stinks. It's because you've got the buses here that are free. They've been free since COVID. They never made people pay for them. So a lot of people just get on the bus and drive around all day, get out of the heat, sleep, get around. I'm not really gonna. Yeah, now I am. I'm gonna walk over there. All right, it's pretty bad down there. I can see what people are complaining about. Lots of strung out people, and just doesn't feel safe, feels sketchy. Kind of there, all over here. Jeez, I'm starting to think they just weren't up yet. All right, my verdict on downtown Tucson is, yeah, I get it. There's some stuff that's kind of shitty here. It's not as bad as, nearly as bad as a lot of places I've seen. I don't know what the solution is. You can't really tell these people they can't come down here. They won't go anywhere that they can get help, so they just wander around. And I guess you could say the solution is shut the border down, get the drugs out of the country. I guess that would probably help somewhat. That's not easy to do. So I do have to say, this is something that I normally don't see. The city's got these workers. They have Safe Ambassador downtown Tucson shirts. They walk around, they pick up trash. I think that's all they do. But I've been seeing, they have golf carts that they drive around and stuff. So good for you, Tucson. Why does Phoenix pick on Tucson? Tucson has kind of a bad reputation up there. Like, oh, Tucson. Like, why?
Oh, well, I would think because they're super sophisticated and they have everything, and we're a dusty little town 50 miles from the border. So, I mean, like when the rivalry from the U of A kids and the ASU kids, I mean, the ASU kids would always go back to Mexico, and it's fun. It's fun banter. We'll talk the smack. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. Like, but I think folks that have moved from a big city to a big city that have driven down here, because you drive down, go to Tombstone but you'll go home. Now, if you come to Tucson, it's different, and it's not Phoenix at all. Like on paper, we're 1 million plus. That's, I'd say 40% of that is out in the sticks. Tucson proper is still, what, 600,000? That's not that big. Yeah, so while it has all the amenities, and me personally, I think the best Mexican food in America, but everybody thinks that about their spot.
Here's one of our main thoroughfares here. Looks good to me. All right, so this is downtown Tucson on a Sunday. It's all very nice, I have to say. I was told by a buddy of mine, James, who lives here, that a lot of this has been redone, regentrified. They kind of knocked down a lot of the older stuff, and they've made downtown Tucson a lot better, I guess. And it's really cool. I mean, they did a good job. I don't know how old this is, but it's a nice place to walk around. All right, so we've been driving around the north end for about a half hour. It's really not that bad. Not what I was told, but it also could be that it's hot out. It's not night. There's just no shade. There's no trees. It's not even about I don't think the temperature in the summer. It's just that there's no relief. There's a few palm trees. It's just, the only shade's the bus stops. So I think that's why everybody goes. I think once you get outside of downtown, most of Tucson just looks like this. Just a bunch of strip malls and rocks. Taco shacks. Kind of reminds me of the nicest part of San Bernardino a little bit. And I think that this is Tucson's not nice part, which says a lot about both Tucson and San Bernardino.
Oh, it's a wonderful town. It always has been. Great people here, good culture, awesome food. I think it's misrepresented a bit by some realtors in cities where people are trying to leave from. If you're used to a big city life and like the big city life, you're probably not going to be so stoked on Tucson because it's just a slower life here. Everything's here. I mean, you have, food, all the shops. I mean, high end stuff, low end stuff. Yeah, it's all here, but it's slower. Like it's not LA, Frisco. Like, no, you're going to get bored and probably want to change things. So.
Oh my gosh, Fancyland. All this stuff was like $250 like 20 years ago, and now everything up here is like $1 million. This looks a lot different than down there. Now, a 15-minute drive away from downtown feels like you're going into another world. If you're thinking of moving here, the real estate here is bonkers now. This is the nice part of town on the northeast end. The further north you get from downtown, the fancier it gets. This is the part of town that people go to when they want to be as far away from that drama as they can get. The high up on the hillers. They call parts of Tucson East California because of all the transplants that have come in. Some people, they move to Phoenix, but they can't stand it up there, so they come down here where it's more affordable. And I know realtors here. If you want to move here yourself, email me. Yeah, this is just a regular neighborhood in the middle of kind of regular middle-class land here. And very unique architecture from what I've seen. Lots of cactus. There's no lawn maintenance at all. It's very dry. I think some of this stuff, I get that you like living in the desert where it's warm. Cactus I don't think we've seen a single yard. I don't think you're allowed to. I have to figure that out. I don't know if you're even allowed to water anymore. The water restrictions out here are so bad, and it's just getting worse. There's good and bad. Will you go right? There's good and bad to not having a lawn. Clearly, you have less maintenance and stuff. I don't know how much this neighborhood is. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen. I know it's going up, though, because there's a lot of people that want to move here, mostly from California, coming in to ruin everything. I don't think there's a blade of grass in this entire side of town up here. Oh, Kim just pointed out, somebody has a yard. Oh my God, that must cost a fortune. I wonder if their neighbors are jealous or what. God, show-offs.
Look at this saguaro.
I mean, I do appreciate the landscaping. That is, I don't know how old those cacti are. I don't know how long that takes to grow. I know it's a desert, but it had been an even drier year than normal. Look at that. God. And then I flew the drone over the cheap side of Tucson. You can get a house down here about 15 minutes from downtown next to the Rattlers and the do-it-yourselfers for under $200,000. Lots of it. Chickens and goats and shoot your guns and everything. Yeehaw. That's some Arizona shit right there. Well, we were out and about in Tucson. We did a lot. Kim and I were here for 3 straight days.
Wow.
Is that normal? People in cowboy hats?
We saw that guy last night. We saw that guy last night.
Okay, so is this normal to see that?
Yeah.
Not exactly. He was wearing his shirt.
Right, I'm at the trolley stop here in downtown Tucson. And we're going to take the trolley up to maybe watch the game. I heard there's a lot of hatchet attacks that happen at the bus stops here. So I'm risking my life for you guys here to show you Tucson on a kind of humid maybe gonna rain Saturday night here in downtown. Here comes the trolley. All right, it's game day here in Tucson. We might try to get in and get a cheap seat. Not sure if it's gonna happen because I forgot about the clear bag policy. Kim doesn't have a clear bag, but it's very active. Actually, this is nothing. They're playing Weber State. This is kind of a spontaneous thing. We'll see what happens. This is where the parties are at. This is where all the college kids come and watch the game. It is gonna dump rain, I think, so we did not go to the game because I do not care about it that much. In fact, we're probably gonna get a good seat at the bar. It's where the Tucson kids party. We didn't go to the game. We wound up at the most famous place on campus, though, a joint called Frog and Firkin. Everybody knows about Frog and Firkin. And we had their fish piss shots because that's what they do here. Fish piss shot. Fish piss. Okay, so the game's delayed. Nobody knows when it's going to start. We made a good decision not to go. There's lighting everywhere. I just read it's the first delayed game at the Arizona Stadium since 2009.
Oh, it started.
And so this doesn't happen often. There's a hurricane out
Look at those clouds.
on Baja, California.
Look at those clouds.
Causing
That's
all this.
real.
It's
Look at
normally
those
not
clouds.
like this, but it is nasty. Arizona with the chaotic lightning in the background. Game delayed. Everybody's gonna get extra drunk, but not me. I'm going downtown to have Mexican food because I'm a big boy. Noodleholics? I'm a noodleholic. I know. Maybe I should go there. Now, the food in Tucson, James was right. It is good. Before we even get to the Mexican food part, first night we just wound up at a simple place called the Monica in downtown. I didn't have high expectations, but I was like, damn, Tucson. The place was founded by Monica Flynn, an area food legend. Apparently, she invented the chimichanga when she accidentally dropped a burrito into hot oil. Monica. We're at Comida del Barrio in South Tucson. What's up, Damien? We're having
What's
lunch.
happening? Welcome to Tucson, Arizona.
I heard it's the best Mexican food in the country. Is that true?
Yeah, this is where the chimichanga was actually. This is where it was made, first time ever.
I'm gonna keep talking so you can't eat. I'm just kidding. Yeah, this is about as mom and pop as you get. You know it's good when there's, styrofoam plates and plastic spoons and stuff here on the south side. Oh my gosh, they even have a band in here. Mariachi. Okay, so lightning is still on the horizon. Oh my gosh. And we are coming to a classic, gotta do it, El Charro Cafe in downtown Tucson. And look how quiet it is. This is downtown. I was told it was like janky and sketchy down here. We've walked, 20 minutes? I haven't seen a single bad thing. Very small and intimate. Now, El Charro's been called basically the most iconic Mexican joint in the whole region. You had to go there. Oh my God, the famous carne seca platter with carne asada cooked on the roof. And everybody told me, Nick, you guys need to get the world famous carne seca. So we did.
Oh, really? They've been showing a lot of trading places in 48 hours, another 48 hours. Oh my God. They've been showing all the. Oh.
That's pretty amazing.
Kim loved it too.
Oh my gosh.
It is 9:15 on a Saturday night. This downtown is pretty dead. Not in a bad way. We're not on the main party zone, but this is chill. It's super clean, right?
So
Clean and quiet, and you just walk around. And off he goes. Off to the next destination. The Tucson Wanderer wanders away. Where he's going, nobody knows. I don't even know if he knows. Maybe he'll find his dreams at the end of the sidewalk. The end. Man, that place is bad. I chose to end this video at the Grand Resort Lux, whatever they call it here. It is not a grand resort. It might be the worst hotel in Arizona. I thought about staying here last night and making a video about it, but I got enough footage of crackheads and drug deals and stuff already, so I did not stay there. I'll tell you what, Tucson is pretty bad.
Everybody, this is Nick Johnson. This is the follow-up video he did. We did a documentary. I'll put the link in, the full documentary I did with him, but this was his video that he kind of did as like a summary of everything. So just take that. I didn't write any of this, but definitely shout out to Nick Johnson. He's got a big following on YouTube. He does lots of different cities and states, and was thankful to have him come out here to Tucson. So, but that is Nick Johnson. That's not me. I know if anyone thinks this is Nick Johnson, not me.
Not the worst place that we've seen, but it's up there. It's the violence, the open air drug use is everywhere here. It's on every intersection, every convenience store, every bus stop, every intersection. It's really bad. It's out of control and it's getting worse. And it kind of makes you lose faith in society when you see this dystopian kind of environment here. What's the solution? Where are the people that care about these folks that are on the streets? Where's their friends and family and the law enforcement? It wouldn't be too hard to just slap these people around and get them in shape. Or maybe it is. Other than that, otherwise, Tucson's actually not a bad place. You take that out. The downtown's not bad. It's not a bad place at all. But you got to get all that stuff out of here. Tucson is not in a good place right now. And if this is the worst place in Arizona, well, then it can only get better from here. And cut. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed that report from America. So we've been to every state now, and we know so many great places that most people don't know about. If you're trying to figure out where you should move, I can help. Email me, and I'll tell you about how I can find you the perfect place for you to move to. And if you need a realtor, I can help you with that as well. No one else knows America more than Nick and Kim and Mappy. This is my email. You can also find it in the description or on the channel. And if you want to buy some Mappy gear, you can find that link in the description as well. You can get shirts, hats, mugs, stickers, hoodies, all kinds of great Mappy merch. Click the link, get some Mappy gear. I'm also on Cameo. If you want me to send you or somebody you know a personalized video message, go to Cameo and search Nick Johnson, or just click the link in the description. Well, hey, Nick Johnson fans. So YouTube's pushing this whole membership thing now, and I think it's great. So I set one up for this channel.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching that. I guess we're still on delay. I'm going to show you where we're at. We still got that same screen going. I do have yesterday somebody did send me, they want us to Ron Comd, I think. Rom Cond. So we're gonna, but this is what we're seeing on the meeting. It just keeps saying executive agenda, executive session. We're still waiting. We're in the waiting game still. So I guess we're just at the whims of when they decide that they're done with their executive meeting, and then they'll come back in here, kind of like we saw on the previous stream, and they will begin to talk about, hopefully, the next agenda item would be the Nanos thing, or shortly after. But I do have this rom-com, who somebody said, if you guys do have a good video that's come out recently, let me know and I will play that up on the screen. Put this on. Check the comments real quick and see what's happening, but we are in the waiting game. Nano should be embarrassed. Thank you for all you're doing. Yeah, thank you guys for joining and, really supporting, trying to learn about, Tucson. That obviously with the Nancy Guthrie, it's brought a lot of, exposure to, how does it go in? How does it end up like this? How is it being kind of, the narrative is being controlled essentially. And Nanos is kind of, the way he handled it may have opened up the can of worms, as they say, so to speak. So this seems like a long executive session, especially if they said this was going to start at 1 o'clock. They went to lunch at 12, so they've already been, doing whatever for. So I think any time now. I was thinking about stopping the stream and then restarting it, but since we do have these other videos, I do have it in the queue ready to go. Romcon, I just hit the subscribe button on him. Give him a subscribe. He's got 147,000 subscribers. So this guy is not just some young buck out of the pen. He's been doing this, it looks like. But we are watching this for the first time together. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. We'll just kind of get a sample, and you guys can maybe go watch his video later. But I'm all about, getting the community stronger, people sharing each other's channels. So if you do have a channel in there that you want people to check out, put it in there. If you have your own channel that you're trying to build, definitely put it in there. But we do have this. Shout out Romcon, spelled R-O-M. Let me make sure I get this right. ROMCONNED. So this is the title of this one is Nancy Guthrie Criminologist Question and Answer. Before that night changes everything. See if you guys have anything in the comments. Yeah, we're still in executive sessions. They said 1 p.m. So we're gonna just wait it out. I mean, obviously, you can come back and watch the replay. I'm gonna clip things out. I did put a couple clips on YouTube of some previous interviews. Why was the short guy? Okay, he's an insider. That's a good question, Kirkle. Thank you, Kirkle. Yeah, so Andres Canos is like a handpicked insider that, and just like Savannah, I'm not being political. Savannah is in with the insiders in Tucson. I don't know if you guys know that. Maybe it's the first time you heard it. Nanos. Savannah is, kind of in the whole narrative, keep things quiet crowd here in Tucson. She's actually one of the quiet leaders, right? She's at NBC News. So as far as Andres Cano being at that, it was because, who he is in being an insider in the Democrat. Now, Andres Cano was not elected to office, but he's sitting on, you're going to see him in a minute. the short guy with the tie. He looks like he just got out of a high school. Um, he was not elected. Everybody else was elected, but he was actually appointed. When Adelita Grijalva left to go run for Congress, they appointed this guy Andres Cano, and so everybody voted as far as the insiders that who they wanted to fill the position. So he gets to fill the position unelected, but he acts like he's elected, and everybody wants. He wasn't elected. He was actually handpicked by Mayor Romero and her friends, and now he has to run again. But he got to basically do his office without being an elected official, and he's trying to go in there and change things. He was never elected. So Andres Canos, that was a great question. Someone put, why was he invited to that? Is because what I think is maybe he's friends with Savannah, because they're all trying to keep together, so to speak. So but that's the reason why. So we're gonna play this now, and I'm gonna stop the blabbing here, and this is Rom Con.
Someone walks. So today, we're not adding another theory. We're breaking down the patterns behind the questions. What actually matters, what doesn't, and what all of this reveals about how crimes like this unfold. And later in this episode, we're going to walk through the one detail that may matter more than anything else. So make sure that you watch the whole episode. And it's not the face. It's actually the behavior. This is Romcon, crime inside relationships, where emotional access becomes criminal opportunity. We need to reframe how we're looking at this, because right now, this case is being analyzed like an isolated event, and it's not. Crimes like this don't begin with the moment we see on a Ring camera. They begin inside relationships. And when I say relationships, I don't just mean romantic. I mean family, proximity, familiarity, even psychological fixation. Because access is never random. Access is always relational. So if we want to understand what happened to Nancy, we don't just look at the crime. We look at the conditions that made it possible. Welcome to Romcon. I'm Laurel House with my co-host, Dr. Alex Del Carmen, a criminologist who trains law enforcement, including the FBI at Quantico. Dr. Alex, I know that you've been seeing the comments. We have had almost 1,000 comments of people giving their opinion. So today, you're going to give yours, and I think people are going to be very excited. But let's start with that gate. So many people are talking about it. We're seeing comments like, that walk matches someone close to her. He favors one side. That's a specific person. Let's talk about it.
Well, first of all, I think, want to thank all of our viewers for having interacted with you and me in the past few weeks, and also for the feedback that we got, right? As you noted, it's been incredible, and we're just incredibly flattered by that. And also we feel an awesome level of responsibility, because we're not necessarily going to come out at this by giving you 16,000 hypotheses that we dreamt up yesterday. I know a lot of people are doing second guessing, and they're coming up with bizarre theories, but I will tell you what I always go back to is what we know, and the science of criminology, and how the science of criminology can actually help us understand the things that we can understand up to right now. And so going back to your question on the gate, I think we have to be very careful, right? That we just don't start looking at how people walk down the street and start hypothesizing that you must be then a suspect because you're walking that way. The assumption that people are making when they look at the way this suspect was walking, and the fact that he was favoring one side versus another, is that they're assuming that that is a permanent state for the suspect. In other words, that the suspect is doing that on an ongoing basis because of some sort of deficiency that he may have had at some point in his life, or an accident or something that left him to favor one side over the other. There is also a possibility that this person was injured just a few days before the crime, or perhaps may have been injured a few weeks before the crime, and that's the reason why he was favoring one side over the other. And so we don't know what we don't know, so we have to be real careful before we start looking at relatives that have a certain walk and whether or not that walk fits this particular scenario. Believe it or not, Laurel, there was a crime similar to this in a city in Texas, in North Texas, about 12 years ago, where the suspect was caught on video camera wearing almost like a bomb squad outfit. I mean, completely covered up, favored one side as he was walking away from the crime scene. And the people, man, they began to throw all sorts of theories, and they looked at all these particular theories, and the FBI to this day has not solved the crime.
Wow.
Because it's been that hard to identify. So I say that to just caution the audience as we comment on this topic, that we are really, really careful in not passing judgment or even raising suspicions based on the way that person walks. Now, I will tell you what I believe is not the case. That is, I don't believe that this person is pretending to favor one side to show some degree of, if you want to call it, distraction among those that were going to view that person. I don't think this person, and I said this before in our previous show, I don't think this person is that organized. I don't think this person is quite honestly that bright.
To be
And that
faking
well
a bad
planned.
gate, you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I think this is a genuine, component that I don't think it is caused by the excessive weight that this person presumably is carrying in that backpack. I just don't see that. I think this person has either a born defect, or this person was injured at some point that caused for him, her, I think it's a him, to walk a certain way. But I do think that we need to pay attention to it, obviously, right? That makes it into an interesting addition to the whole lineup of things that we're looking at.
So yeah, just this is kind of interesting because I brought this up in the past too, as far as the suspect's walk. Kind of had, they call it a gait walk, GAIT, like a gait walk. And what do you guys think? What do you guys notice? You can probably think about how he walks. What do you think about his walk? Do you guys have? I mean, if you don't have any comment, I get it. But is there anything that stands out about his walk?
But let's not necessarily use that as an exclusionary rule, meaning that if we find somebody down the street that is not walking that way, but fits the other elements, that we will simply exclude that person either.
Now, people are, though, saying, look at that gate. That looks very much like someone who is close to the Guthrie family. And what people are reacting to here isn't just movement, right? It's familiarity. But there's a difference between recognition and projection. When people say, that looks exactly like someone I know, that's not identification, that's pattern matching. So when we look at his gait, does it make sense that people are looking at his gait and putting that as a side-by-side to people who are familiar with and close with the Guthrie family?
It makes sense, but I can tell you that in Quantico, the behavioral analysis unit would use that as one of, 3 factors or 5 factors to take into consideration. What I'm kind of being careful about is to make sure that our audience understands that we cannot use it exclusively as that.
Right.
But we can use it as one more factor to think about. Now, what
Okay.
it also tells me, right, from a behavioral side, is that if this criminal is rational, that's an if person is rational, you wouldn't necessarily go to a crime scene and when it's about to become a crime scene because you're about to either abduct or kill somebody, you really show before the camera all the individual peculiarities about you that could make it easily identifiable if you were to walk down the street. In other words, if you're a planned criminal, if you're a professional at this, you're not going to be exhibiting any signs of anything related to reality for you, whether it's your voice, your facial expressions, facial hair, the way you walk, the way you may talk. You're not going to do any of those things because the last thing that you want to do is be recognized, right? When you're
Right.
walking down the street. So if you have such a gait that it's preventing you from, say, looking like the mainstream aspect of society, at least pretend that you don't have that impairment when you are going to go commit the crime, so that if they see you walking down the street with such impairment, they would not necessarily infer or assume that that's you.
So you think that someone who's about to commit a crime is actually going to be in the mindset of, okay, I'm probably going to be caught on camera. So because I have this gait, I need to fake that I don't have the gait, or I need to fake
Absolutely.
a gait.
Or hire somebody to do it for you if you're that physically impaired.
Yeah,
I mean, so my point is that if you're a professional, right? So you know, like if you look, for instance, at our soldiers, right, special forces, Delta Force, etc. I mean, these are individuals that are incredibly selected from a group of already fit individuals, right? And we put people out there on these combat operations that are highly skilled, highly trained, and they're physically able to carry out their job. You know, we're not going to put somebody out there to do an extraction of some sort if that person can hardly walk or is slow to
right,
move.
right.
And so the idea is, if this is a professional hit, and I'm just kind of looking at this using the gate aspect of it, which is something that we know and we saw on video, using that as a way to sort of think through, is this the one comment that we've received from our audience is they want to know if we think this was premeditated, or if this was a professional hit, or if this was somebody related to Nancy, or somebody that knew Nancy or knew Nancy's daughter, that wanted to take this aspect of revenge on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we do know is that this gate shows me that this person maybe could have hired, or perhaps did not hire, someone that wouldn't have had a physical impairment to commit a crime where speed and time is of the essence.
Right.
And so they're in some ways being irrational by doing this. They're being irrational by looking straight into the camera, so that they, even though they have a mask, their eyes are seen,
Mm-hmm.
possible facial hair is seen,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of that, they have a peculiar way of walking, which is so.
And everybody, this guy on the screen is not the suspect, so don't start calling him a suspect. I know a lot of people, when they come on, no, I'm just kidding. But a lot of people, when anyone comes on the screen, they start thinking, suspect. Oh, look at his eyes. But we're going to keep playing this. If you guys, like I said, I got another video after this, but hoping this meeting will start.
Also another signature of the criminal, letting you know this is how you find it.
So what stands out to me beyond the gate is how he moves, right? There's no urgency, there's no panic, there's no hesitation. Criminals rush when they're guessing. They slow down when they already know. And that tells me something very crucial. The way someone moves in a space like this reflects their comfort level within the space. And this guy seems pretty comfortable to me.
He does. And I also think that the other aspect of this is, and I've said this before in our shows, right? But as a criminologist of 28 years, the very first thing that we teach criminologists to be is, when I go in the classroom and I start, teaching these very impressionable people that want to do psychological profiling of criminals and all that, I tell them, before we study any of the theories of crime, before we look at any of the possibilities and we look at behavioral aspects of people, the one thing that you have to always understand is that you cannot assume that criminals are rational people and that they have the set of values that you and I have. And that's really hard for people to understand. When we tell people that, they shake their head in affirmation, going, yeah, I get it. They don't really fully understand what that means. And that is, when we look at this guy moving very slowly from one area to another, someone like you or me, he would say, yeah, you're definitely comfortable. As you pointed out, you're not in a rush. You're not really concerned about being caught. You're not concerned that a patrol unit is going to pull up in the front and ask you what you're doing. It's not exactly like this person can run really quickly anyway. And so what is it about this guy that makes him so comfortable? Is it the fact that he's got somebody else down the street that's on a radio telling him who's coming in or out of that neighborhood? Is it that this guy is completely, by the way, is attached or unattached to reality, that he's living a fantasy that is allowing him to not necessarily be rational about the things that he should have been rational about? And that's the theory that I adhere myself to. And I believe that this is a personal thing. And I've said this before. This is a very personal matter. This is something that either Nancy's daughter was a fixation that he had towards her, or towards Nancy's mom for some reason, or an argument or something that happened that prompted him to basically go over the edge in almost a platform of not being aware of the things that most quote unquote people that have rational choices in their mind would have been aware of. That's how I explain the irrationality of some of the things that we did get to see on video.
Right. Because we can't even imagine how a criminal thinks. So another major question, and you mentioned it just now a little bit, was the mustache real? Were the eyebrows real? What about the tattoo that you can kind of see along the glove line? What do you think about that? Is this a disguise?
The tattoo that is, again, going back on the premise that this guy is not very well organized, that this guy is undisciplined, that this guy is not a professional hitman. If you adhere to that premise that I'm bringing into this conversation, then the mustache is not fake. Then the tattoo is not fake. Then all of the things that you see on the camera are not fake. This guy is not, in my view, he's not trying to sway somebody to believe that he's somebody else by the way that he is walking, or by the tattoo, or by the mustache. Those three things alone shows you how undisciplined he is, and shows you how careless he is, and shows you how way out there he is in terms of his rationality. This is somebody who is sick. This is somebody who is, I'm telling you, the day we find this guy, and the day will come, whether it's now or a year from now or 10 years from now, when that happens, I want this recording to be here as a witness of the fact that we will find that this person was infatuated with either Nancy or Nancy's daughter, because this guy came at this for one reason and one reason only, and that is to get vengeance and to fulfill his fantasy, whatever fantasy that was. And so I don't believe that any of this was orchestrated. I think that all of this was a careless criminal that perhaps got lucky, that that a patrol unit didn't pull up, that the SWAT team wasn't there within minutes, that perhaps the sheriff screwed up when they first responded to the crime scene by contaminating the crime scene. I think that there are a lot of layers about what took place here that really helped out the criminal unintentionally. So I adhere to the notion that this person is still on the loose, and that eventually we're going to catch this person.
Because if those were fake, then it wouldn't just be concealment. It would be manipulation of perception, which would require a lot of planning and a lot of strategy. They're thinking about, am I going to be seen or not? And what you're saying is this was not as strategic as people are believing that it might have been. This was a mistake. It was a mistake that his tattoos were seen. It was a mistake.
Right.
It was he overlooked the fact that he has very bushy eyebrows and that his facial hair would be seen through the mask.
Yeah, and there may be criminologists that may also believe that even though this was careless on his part, he also wanted you to see those things because this is his trophy, right? That we know from people that have actually engaged in this kind of crime before that they want you to know a little bit about them.
Right.
So that they can get some glory, right? We saw this in John Wayne Gacy. We saw this in Ted Bundy. We saw this in Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, these personalities that we've learned of, this horrible individual that have existed in our lifetime, are people that there's a bragging that comes along with it. When John Wayne Gacy drew the painting of a clown and a clown's face and gave it to Bob Ressler, founded the FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit. And he basically told them, if you can figure out where the bushes are behind the clown, you'll be able to find a lot more bodies. I mean, he was playing with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I met with Bob Ressler many, many times at conferences. And I remember him telling me the story that they were looking at the trees that John Wayne Gacy used to travel quite a bit. And so that there were people that disappeared in some of the towns where he had been. And yet they couldn't never tie him to those crimes. And so these are people that are very creative, but at the same time, they want to let you know a little bit about them. They want to let you know, by the way, I exist. I'm here. I'm real.
Yeah.
This wasn't an abduction by a UFO, right?
Right.
This is me, but I'm not going to let you see it. But at the same time, keep in mind, we have to be careful here because we have to also acknowledge the fact that this was premeditated, question, and that this guy took some measures, such as having the mask, having the gloves, and various other things in order to be able to evade detection.
Right.
So in other words, he was careful, but not careful enough.
So another way that he was trying to evade detection that a lot of people are talking about, and it's something very critical, are the cameras, not just at Nancy's home, but possibly in the surrounding area. Neighbors were saying that their cameras went down at precisely the moment that Nancy was abducted. So let's talk about those cameras. When multiple systems
You think the cameras went down? You guys think I mean, the camera thing where people are saying neighbors' cameras, if they could show some proof, but to me, it just seems very odd. Like the neighbors would just try to connect. Maybe it did happen, but they would connect their cameras going down. When did they go down? How do they know they went down? We're at 3 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what's going on. They're still in there twiddling their thumbs in their executive session. I'll put it on here so you guys can see. I'm gonna give this a little bit of a break on the listening to Romcom, but if you guys did have anybody that you want to send over, show you up what we have going here. Give you a view of what's going on in the meeting. It's the same screens back and forth, back and forth. I don't know if maybe they're really, discussing the Nanos. I've never seen them in this long of an executive session. So this could be meaning good, something good, where they have their lawyer in there, everything. Maybe this extra time is because of the Nanos situation, and they really have. I mean, I'm just speculating, but they've been in there for at least 2 hours. I figured maybe it would be a 30-minute, but they are still in there. No word. See what the comments are saying. Their way of holding from the public. I think, and a lot of these people don't like Nanos either. Some of them do, maybe some of them don't. Most, doesn't matter what political party it is. I think most people are kind of, they're kind of they're done with Nanos. He has protected the local. Let me check the comments. And I've heard that one, Miss Dreams. I've heard that there's a neighbor that refuses to release their footage, saying their kids had a party, didn't want them to arrested for doing illegal drugs on the same night. So you're saying that somebody had a party on the same night that Nancy went missing? I haven't heard about the party. Lego Mike, welcome in. He says the perp got lucky. We're smarter than Nanos. I don't know if the perp got lucky. Thank you, Adrian. Hey, can you explain? I know Nanos has an option to resign, but if the recall is successful, what's the next steps? Is there another vote to vote him out? I need to chat you later. Okay, email me and we can chat as well. As far as Nanos, if the recall happens, he can either resign or I believe there will be what they call a special election. That's what I'm hoping. We can get some more details. Now, the recall, you need 120,000 signatures, and they all have to be verified. So if you don't get the 120,000, then so it is a big feat. As much as okay, it sounds like okay, if we can do it, it's a big feat. So in my opinion, if the board of supervisors in this meeting, this executive meeting, if they can come together and figure out some way to get him to resign, right? If he resigns and then he's not going to face charges for something he did, then he could save his butt. But if he doesn't resign, then maybe charges could be brought forward based on what people are saying. I don't know for a fact. This is just speculation, my opinion. If he doesn't resign, then they could maybe be a little more forceful and actually charge the nanos with some sort of crime. We just don't know how this could play out a couple different ways. The recall, it's underway. Shout out to Dan. He is working on getting signatures. Lots of people helping him. I plan on getting some forms, but let me know if there is anything. There is a. I don't usually watch TMZ videos, but we're gonna play this one for a minute. See what it's about. Well, we're still waiting. Obviously, people think it's gonna be canceled. I don't think it could be canceled. So I think no matter what, it's happening. We're just in that waiting game, but it will not be canceled. So this is a TMZ interview. Said new details in Nancy Guthrie. So what are the new details? We're gonna find out. We're watching for the first time together.
No, I'm asking you to shotgun it here. How close does it seem that the FBI is to finding the people that did this?
They have too much to do. When I look at what they're doing, it seems to me they don't have somebody pinpointed at all.
So I'm joined today by former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. She's here to talk to me today about the Nancy Guthrie case. Jen, we've spoken before. Thank you so much for joining me again today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So there's been kind of an update over this weekend regarding the case. Savannah Guthrie took to social media and released another statement. And there's something in this statement that sticks out to me and a lot of people. And I want to hear what your thoughts are on this. There's a part of the statement that says, "We hope people search their memories, especially around the key timelines of January 31st and the early morning hours of February 1st, as well as the late evening of January 11th." Now, we're 51 days past since when Nancy Guthrie went missing. And I'm wondering, why would she say January 11th? What could the FBI possibly have on their hands that is drawing attention to that specific date?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. First of all, we know at least there's significant source information that is telling us that actually the time frame where video is important, and we've known this from the beginning, has been January 11th. We've known that investigators have specifically asked for that time frame to different neighbors. Why? We know that the porch guy was actually seen on two separate occasions. That's what our sources tell us throughout the media environment. And if you look at the way his shoes are, they're different. If you look at the jacket, it's different. He doesn't have a holster. He doesn't have his backpack. And the lighting conditions in terms of the moon seem to be different. So if you look on January 11th, that is a waning crescent as opposed to a full moon, the full illuminescence of the moon that would have been on him and in that community on the night of the abduction. And you can see a difference in terms of the backlighting on Porch Guy. So what I believe is this sort of outlines that Porch Guy would have actually gone there earlier. Did he go there earlier to actually surveil and to prepare, or was he planning on the abduction on that Sunday night and changed his mind? That we don't know, but that date is really significant now.
Right, especially when you consider, last time you were on, you said that a theory of yours was that there were multiple perpetrators that committed this crime. You even went as far as saying that maybe one person entered through the back of the home while Porch Guy was in charge of disabling the cameras from the front. So it stands out to me that it is theorized that it's the same person that we're seeing here on January 11th and not two people. Do you still stand by the theory now that multiple people were involved in this abduction?
I still stand by the theory, but I agree with you that this perpetrator, the person in charge of the front, is the same perpetrator. I just have an issue with my experience and this sort of a crime being considered by a lone perpetrator. That would be so rare and so outside of the statistics in terms of crimes that I've handled and others have handled that have to do with an abduction. So it doesn't make a lot of sense statistically. And from my own background, I can't make that line up. In addition, I really believe that that antenna that is sticking out of his pocket, I believe to be not a jammer at all. I believe that to be actually a two-way radio, otherwise known as a walkie-talkie. They're the same thing that would have been used. And if he needed a walkie-talkie, that means he needed to be able to communicate with somebody. Also, let's not forget those locks that a locksmith was called out to. We see it on video, him futzing with the back door and working on that. And I believe that could have been where entry was made by a secondary perpetrator. Also, keep in mind, this perpetrator used one hand to initially block the camera. He goes back and gets some weeds and kind of, or flowers, waves them.
So there is the suspect. We were trying to get the video. People wanted to see the video, so that's kind of good. They brought it up. We're gonna see if we can just play this up again. How many times have you just looked at this video trying to get another clue, trying to get something else? If you look right here, though, look how skinny that leg is. Look how skinny that leg is. I mean, that's a skinny leg. What do you guys think about his leg? How skinny that is right there. You think it's the camera angle? But that's the thing is, I know people have dissected this video down like frame by frame. And I think these lights up here, I think that's Sue Ellen's house. And so, but we're going to just watch this video. We're waiting still. We're in the waiting mode. I'm going to put the banner up for everybody. We are in waiting mode for this meeting. Nanos meeting delayed. It should start soon. And right now we're just kind of, I have it ready to go. We're waiting for it to just hit the go button. So let's continue to play this. But here is the suspect at the front door of Nancy's.
Or flowers, waves them around in front of that camera again. At the same time, he's trying the doorknob with his left hand. Did he expect that his partner, if this summation and hypothesis is accurate, was going to open the door? And that's why he is kind of making these actions and these movements. I just think that for me, it moves the pendulum to the probability that there was more than one involved. There's a possibility it was just him, but my probability needle has gone over to that side.
We had a former hostage negotiator on
Real quickly, do you guys think if that was more than one person, or was it? Do you think there was just a lone wolf? And if you think it was multiple, how many? Was it 2 people? Was it 3? Some people even said 4. I'm thinking more either 2 or 3. Most likely 2. That's just my guess. Obviously 3. But what do you guys think?
yesterday. And he said that he went to the scene and noticed that the blood stopped at the very end of the walkway, right before hitting the pavement or the road. And it signified to him that there was definitely a getaway car waiting for them at the end of that walkway. Now that we have a date, January 11th, do you think the FBI has a higher chance of identifying this getaway car?
Well, now that we have 2 important dates, and I also thought it was significant that she said the night of the 31st and the morning of the 1st. I don't think that was by accident. In fact, I think this whole statement isn't by accident. I think it is with the support and the encouragement of the FBI that would be behind this to keep heightened this case so that somebody can come forward who recognizes Porch Guy. But to your question, yes, anytime now you have more dates that you have narrowed down and more timelines, now they can compare cars that they might be seeing on the 1st, or I'm sorry, on the 11th, with cars they might have been seeing on the night of the 31st and on the morning of the 1st, which was when this occurred. 147, we know of the camera being disabled. So now you have sort of a trifecta of different dates and times that can be compared and possible vehicles in that time frame to compare.
Like I said before, 51 days since Nancy Guthrie has gone missing. And I'm wondering, in your experience, this late into the case, what strategies could the FBI be utilizing to their advantage right now to generate more leads or maybe catch the people that committed this crime?
Well, the number one thing is looking at this video. The other thing that is just, quite frankly, I'm astonished that they haven't done is do a billboard campaign in the
Yes, you
areas
can,
that
Treehouse.
they think are relevant, like they did before. But they don't need a picture of Nancy Guthrie on the billboards. They need a picture of the guy on the porch, the perpetrator. That needs to be splashed in gigantic fashion on billboards in the areas they think might be involved.
There we go. I mean, we went and did the flyers, but you notice that 88 crime, they have this money for budget for missing people, all this. They should be putting up billboards all over the city. They should be out having volunteers hand out flyers. So I don't know why she just said they should have billboards. I mean, should we rewind it, or I think you guys heard it. She said they should have billboards. If you can send me one billboard in the city of Tucson, I'll go over right now and take a picture of it. I'll do a separate live stream from the billboard of Nancy Guthrie, just one. Why don't they have a billboard? I mean, Tucson isn't that big, so they could put a billboard as people are coming into Tucson. They could have had up a couple at least.
Also, these billboards need to be in Spanish based on where in the
Spanish.
past the FBI chose to put their billboards, which are highly Hispanic portions, especially when they concentrated on Houston, their concentrations in Southern California and in Arizona. When you look at that, it begs the question, do they have answers from any of the DNA? I understand they don't have any answers as to who it is, not that specific, but were they able to find enough markers to just strictly show what nationality? we see this all the time in 23andMe for $100. It's not that they do a deep dive into the DNA profiles, but they do just enough to take a look at possible heritage. I wonder if they've done that and they focused in on possibly being Hispanic.
You know, something that's worth pointing out when, you know, we're talking in regards to CCTV footage. Um, Nancy Guthrie lives in a highly deserted area. I mean, there is not a lot around. So, you know, and I've seen um, in terms of her proximity to her neighbors, it's pretty far. It's not like you can go over to your neighbor's house and knock on the door for a cup of sugar within a couple minutes. You would have to walk quite a bit. And so I'm wondering, you know, they could have just taken her out of her home. Not been seen by any CCTV, you know, with regards to like Nest or ring doorbells. What about main roads? You know, how deserted is it out there to where a street camera could have picked them up, or a red light camera or anything like that? Could the perpetrators
Yeah,
have possibly
digital.
avoided these cameras, and that's why it's been so hard for the FBI to identify a getaway vehicle?
All right, I got to stop it there because he did say something. I mean, I don't think he's been here to Tucson. This guy, he looks pretty young. I don't think he'd been to Tucson, so he doesn't know how far it is to the houses. But if I took a guess, if you left Nancy's house and if it was her, it would probably take her 5 minutes to walk her. But if it was somebody that was, just normal, able bodied, as far as how fast they could walk, I would say it would take a minute. I mean, you literally walk down her and you probably have to go 30 yards to the next driveway. So it's not that spread out from these houses, especially the way they kind of back up to each other. But it's not like the neighborhoods that we're used to where houses are like this. So the houses would be more kind of like separated. Um, More like, this versus this. So it would take, I would think, about a minute for a neighbor to walk to each neighbor's house. Maybe one would take a little longer, but it's not as spread out as he kind of spelled it out. So we'll keep playing this. The meeting is still on delayed, but just so everybody knows, it will not be canceled. They can't just cancel this. This is mandatory stuff they have to do. They already canceled last week, remember? So if you guys remember, this meeting was supposed to be last week, but they canceled it. So there's no canceling. We just gotta wait it out, unfortunately. Um, if you come back and you want, and then it comes on, if you're interested in watching this with us and chat with the community, stay along. I did get an email from somebody talking about the gate, and it said this is exactly what Romcom was talking about when it comes to someone's gate. We all have one. They go on to say, a gait is someone's manner of walking. Everyone's is different. So, that's pretty obvious. You see people's styles of how they walk. There are no two people that are alike, which is interesting. And I'm not going to go into who she thinks that the gait walk resembles, but you guys could probably take a couple guesses. And so that's it. I know the monk guy, he did the gate video. We talked about the gate. So it's interesting. I think it could be a big clue in somebody saying, "Hey, I know that walk," right? It may be nothing, but here we're going to continue watching this TMZ video. I don't know this guy's name, but I guess he's the Nancy Guthrie special reporter guy here. So here we go. New detail in Nancy Guthrie case, they've been saying. So we'll see what the new detail is. And we're on Nanos meeting watch.
The answer
Nanos
is
meeting watch.
absolutely yes. And I've posted a particular route from her house leading clear out to the highway where you don't cross one light, not one. And you're also not on any main thoroughfare except for a very short amount of time. Basically, it's weaving in and out of all these back roads. The only time, and it was, I counted about 3 street lights that were seen in this route. So imagine if you turned off your headlights. Again, it's in the middle of the morning where no one would be on this back roads, or very few people, and you could just meander in and out of these roads. One of the roads is called Roller Coaster Road, interestingly enough. The only thing that is passed that I think would definitely have cameras, there was a school that the perpetrator would have to pass. But again, there's no lights, or virtually no street lights. So with their headlamps off, they could make it through this route easily, completely undetected, and go the full length to exit the neighborhood and to actually get several miles away without detection.
From
Okay,
operating under
Jackson.
the assumption that they were
Shout out
casing
Jackson.
your house on January 11th, it's likely that they did plan this route where they wouldn't be seen by cameras. And if that's so, then what could the FBI possibly do to track these people if their car wasn't seen by a camera or anything like that?
I've said this from the beginning. They have to concentrate on the choke points, because even if they took one of these circuitous routes, at some point there is a choke point with the highway or with a major point of egress. And when that happens, I would be doing geofencing at these particular points of egress and looking.
And that's exactly what I was talking about the other day is we don't have any footage. So we have everything that Nancy got at her house. We have the porch video, right? We have the porch video. Okay, guys, it's back. It's back. The meeting's about to start. Sorry, we're switching gears. Everyone, the meeting is about to start. We are putting the meeting on. The meeting, they are getting their desks. We are live with the meeting. Thank you for your patience. We are live. Meeting is back. All right, everybody, put the thumbs up. It is back. This could be it. They could be putting something forward as far as Nanos. Who knows with this group? I mean, who knows? Hit the like button. I can't see how many likes we got right now, but thank you. Everybody hitting the like, sharing it out. We are live. Hopefully they remember to turn the volume on. But sorry, I had to cut that video out there, right when we were getting ready to talk about the different choke points. I'll just go in. You know, they should have some surveillance photo of a vehicle driving at 3 a.m. on the night Nancy went missing somewhere. Maybe 5 vehicles, and we process. Give us something. What the heck? Tell me you can't get one vehicle at 3 a.m. What kind of city is this? I mean, we got to protect our people. We are back. It's not. There we go. See, now they're turned on, but they have it.
So we're back
Okay.
from such a speedy executive session, like we never left. All right, so we are going to run through some of the executive session items quickly. Regular agenda item 10 is for information only. I should be cutting this off on my own. Regular agenda item 11 was information only. Agenda item number 12, information only. Addendum item, let's see, agenda item number 30. information only. Addendum item number 2 was information only. Am I okay? Thank you. Addendum item 4 was also information only. All right. So then to go to their corresponding agenda items, we've got regular agenda item number 15, which is the hearing code text amendment on the regulation of unidentified mass groups. I will make the motion to continue the hearing, right? To continue the item, which continues the hearing for ordinance number 2026-2 until the following meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Hines. Discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Continuance passes 5-0. Okay. Regular agenda item 37. This corresponds with executive session item number 11.
But it's okay.
So item 37, I will make the motion to approve as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Cano. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Regular agenda item 38. It's a settlement in Marshall Foundation. I will move to approve the settlement as recommended.
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor Hines. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Regular agenda item 31. County Administrator hiring process. This is a discussion item. We are going to be rolling out, making public the job announcement and the process with a public-facing webpage for the replacement hiring of our county administrator as of April 15th. We are going to have a robust process, a national process that involves a hiring committee comprised of community leaders. There'll be input from employees, obviously a final decision from the Board of Supervisors. There are other key elements of the process that my colleagues would like to discuss and mention. Supervisor Cano.
Thank you, Chair Allen. We were unable to convince.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I don't see or hear anybody in the board meeting room.
Oh. While we work on that, I wanted to, of course, thank Chair Allen for outlining a process that the board can come to consensus on. We were unable to convince the county administrator to renew her contract for another 4 years, but we certainly look forward to beginning a conversation with our community about ways in which we will hire a county administrator with the public in mind, with core objectives for this new role, and look forward to putting forth some of the names from District 5 that will participate on the search committee, and look forward to that committee bringing to us the names for the candidates who will be our next county administrator. This is a process that I'm looking forward to engaging the public in, and want to thank the chair for outlining, as I said, the process that will help us get to this new chapter in Pima County.
Thank you. All right, more to come on the process. I'm going to move us along and continue to knock off any more of the executives, the regular agenda items that correspond with executive session items. So addendum item 7. And then I promise we'll stop all this jumping around and go back as much as we can to following a numeric flow. Addendum item 7. I will move the item. Seconded by Supervisor Hines. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Item passes 5-0. Supervisor Christie, I'm not sure if you heard us, if we can register your vote. No. All right, so I'm going to call that a 4-0. Okay. Addendum item number 5. Supervisor Hines.
Thank you very much. So, as we all found out about 2 weeks ago in this community, and I was disturbed by, saddened by, the sheriff apparently, when moving from El Paso, Texas to Pima County, was not completely straightforward with the process. Thanks to the Arizona Republic, we have seen that a considerable amount of material, a work history, a particularly concerning work history, was omitted.
You can now unmute yourself by pressing *6.
Should I wait?
You're unmuted.
Okay. I think we're still having some technical difficulties, but, and that, look, you can't lie on your job applications. You can't lie under oath. As a physician, nurses, all the folks that I work with, like, you can't make up your credentials. And what really affected me most about this was that the sheriff's history in Pima County for 42 years seems to be based on a fraud. And I feel very strongly about this at a time when trust in our government entities, officials in particular, is at an all-time low. Having this kind of information come out about the highest ranking law enforcement official for the largest law enforcement agency in Southern Arizona is incredibly troubling and very serious. So how did this happen? I'm not entirely clear on that. But from what I can tell from the 2 applications I've been furnished with as of yesterday, from my public records request, information with regard to the adverse history was omitted by the sheriff at the time that he applied for a position 42 years ago. The history in question, I'm sure most have seen this, included in the course of 5 years, 8 suspensions, including one for 15 days for excessive use of force that landed somebody in ICU who was beaten by the sheriff while handcuffed with his flashlight. And also got the El Paso Police Department sued. So this information, I bring this up because all of our peace officers have to be post-certified. You have to be, except elected sheriffs and constables. So this is something, in fact, chiefs of police have to be AZ post-certified as well. So that means, for whatever reason, the application process happened many years ago. He got hired and he somehow got AZ post certification. I don't know how that could have possibly happened if everyone was being truthful. So we have this very disturbing arc, I find, because we have evidence of some falsification or lies of omission, however you want to say it, 40 plus years ago, and then a multi-decade long career here. And then last December, the sheriff, while in a sworn deposition, also appears to have testified falsely with regard to his work history. This is something that law enforcement cannot do. None of us can do. You can't lie on your job application. You can't commit perjury, right? That's not there will be consequences for that. It's especially important that we hold elected officials, and especially law enforcement elected officials, to the highest of standards. And I'm concerned about how he can continue in his role, frankly, leading 1,500 hardworking men and women of the Pima County Sheriff's Department who are AZ post certified and who did not presumably lie on their job application.
Oh, okay. I see me.
Oh dear. Should I wait for him? I feel bad. Okay. All right. That's fine. It's just he might say some of the same stuff, but okay. All right. Where was I? I don't know. And looking at the history, like, I'm not all that surprised when I found this out because of my own witnessed experiences working with the sheriff and his management of the sheriff's department. I mean, you know, lots of things. The RICO investigation that didn't result in any charges being filed, but almost did back in 2015, 16. We had right after I took office, some of the just per capita inexplicably high jail death rates for 3 of those first years. Every year a budget overrun, though this year maybe not, but like over and over. And this board has referred the sheriff for investigation, attorney general, rape investigation concerns, possible election interference in 24. I attached things to this item to make it really clear the things that happened. And those things have consequences, like at least three civil lawsuits as a result of these actions. So this is about accountability and preventing further erosion of public trust in the county government and in county law enforcement. It's not fair that bad decisions by one individual should be reflecting poorly on, frankly, the department, all of us in government, all of us in the county. And so that is why I brought forward this item for discussion. And yeah, I'm happy to hear my colleagues' input and hopefully Supervisor Christie will be available in a moment.
Dr. Matt Hines. That's Dr. Matt Hines speaking right there. He really.
And if he's not, I can keep talking until he is, if he wants to say something.
He threw it down.
Not sure what to do here.
Truth. Thank you, Dr. Matt Hines.
Well, I'm being unsure as to when Supervisor Christie is going to be able to be connected back in. I am happy to kind of move the item forward. So I would make the motion that we proceed as discussed in executive session and that we direct outside counsel to draft language to request reports from the sheriff aligned with ARS 11-253 section A, and to return, that the attorneys return to us with that on April 7th meeting. And then to clarify ARS 11-253A and what that says and means. Voila. ARS 11-253 reports and bonds of county officers. Section A is that the board may require any county officer to make reports under oath on any matter connected with the duties of his office, and may require the officer to give such bonds or further bonds as may be necessary for the faithful performance of his respective duties. Any officer who neglects or refuses to make the report or to give the bond within 10 days after being so required may be removed from the office by the board and the office declared vacant. The board may then fill the vacancy.
And I will second that.
Seconded by Supervisor Hines. Discussion. Are you back, Supervisor Christie?
I cannot see you. I can hear you though.
All right. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are all good.
And could you repeat the motion?
Okay, I will skip reading of the statute, but the motion is to proceed as discussed in executive session and direct outside counsel to draft language to request reports aligned with ARS 11-253, Section A, and to return with that on April 7th, 2026. And to clarify, the returning is from the lawyers to us at the next meeting, and there will be an item on executive session that corresponds with this motion. And that motion was seconded. It's open now for discussion. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item passes 5-0.
6-0.
Okay.
I voted.
That got us through the executive session items and then their, mishmash of agenda items spanning the regular agenda and the addendum. My apologies for all the hopping back and forth. We are now back to a better flow of items. We are going to go to item number 13, sitting as the Flood Control District Board. This is a contract with TEP. I will move the item.
Second.
Seconded by Supervisor.
All right, everybody. I think that was it. Because they moved past that item. I think that was it. I just put the volume down, but now it says at the top, Flood Control District Stadium. Do you guys want to hear all this stuff? I really just wanted to get the Nanos. I don't know if somebody asked, what does that mean? It was a bunch of jumble mumble to me, but I know it means something. Obviously, I just don't know what it is. I think that means they're going to look into it. You know how government is. It's not fast moving. So I don't know what that means. It sounded good, right? It sounded good. Yes, definitely. DGL, welcome everyone. Welcome back. Well, I hope you're feeling better. I don't know what that means. We could rewind it, I guess, and listen to it again. Do you guys want to do that? Because now they're on to fireworks permits, so this has nothing to do with. I don't want to have you guys listen to stuff just to listen to it. I think the Nanos, what they were going to talk about, is over. Do you guys want me to rewind it so we can hear it again? Do you want to let the experts review it, and then we'll get back to it? What do you guys think? Rewind, be kind, rewind. Public home, yeah. So no, yes. It's hard to. I guess I should put up an official poll. Could do an official poll. No, Nanos, no. Move on. All right. Well, what we're gonna do is I am gonna end the stream here now for the Nanos being questioned. But what I want to say at the end is what do you think happened? What I think happened is the board basically is gonna do some investigations probably an independent. Somebody's going to have to come in. I'm going to have to ask some of the experts because it was a lot of mumble jumble, like I said. So all I know is they voted 5-0. They didn't count my vote, but I threw it in there anyway. So it should have been 6-0. And then and then everybody in the chat would have voted too. So I don't know what they can do. There's some smart people out there that do based on what they're going to watch. I'm going to reach out to some people. And I'll have an answer. I'll come back live and I'll say, hey, this is what the board's going to do. I'll be back later. I'm going to go sign off just for a bit. I will be back live streaming from the car here in a little bit. And thank you for your patience today. Today was like, slow going. We're trying to find out when it was going to happen. If you watch the first stream this morning, you can see that the public speakers, I posted some videos about them on YouTube, some shorts. So shout out to Aaron Cross, all the other speakers who are speaking for us. They went out there today. They spent their energy. They gas. You had to pay for parking, I'm sure. And they went and so shout out to them. But it sounds like they got a 5-0 vote for Nanos to be investigated. Obviously, it's Dr. Matt Hines. If you can go tag him on Instagram, that's his favorite platform. Dr. Matt Hines, and tell him great job. He's a Democrat. I'm not here to say Democrat, Republican. This is not about that. This is about our city, somebody we want in charge that we can trust. Like he said, there's a lack of trust in government officials that in the future maybe we can have again. So Dr. Matt Hines, give him a follow, give him a shout out. We give them a hard time, but when they do good things and they're helping and we can come together on issues, let's do it. So support people that are standing up for you. Don't do it all based on political leanings. Thank you guys. I will be back from the car in a little bit. We're going to maybe go meet up with DGL. I'm going to give him a text, call up Alex, see what he's doing. It's a late start, but we're just flowing like a river. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Dr. Matt is the man. Let me check the comments. This is about fraud. Yeah, so right now they're talking about stuff that nothing to do with Nanos. Deborah, thank you. Thank you. If you guys want, once I end it, or you can rewind your own, send me what you think, okay? Because anyone in the chat, we got smart people in this chat. Anyone that you guys or anybody who wants to review what they decided, send me an email. I'll check it out. Nanos has been, yep. Rick Morty, that was funny with your comment. You said Christie's on the phone with Trump. So, I mean, as much as this is serious, it's good to see people, we're human. We're going with the moment as far as, making jokes, but this is serious. And that's why Dr. Matt Hines, he put it down today. So everybody, thank you. Shout out to all the mods. Everybody says the best mods, but I know everybody has the best. I go into other chat rooms, they have good mods. So we're all a community, and that's what's great. Let me see if anyone's got any final comments before we sign off. Dr. Matt Hines. Thank you, Petra, for putting that in. That's it. Dr. Matt Hines. Give him a shout. Send him an email. Say, great job. Aaron Cross, very well spoken. I put that video on my page. See if there's any comments. They let him stay there for all these years. There's one intelligent. Yep, exactly. He was a planted piece to protect. I'm not going to get into it, but Nanos needs, and he's got people suing him left and right. That's the other thing. Dr. Matt Hines is the man. So everybody, thank you again. Checking the last comments. Savannah's calling Mark Kelly right now. Yep, they are scrambling. Check this. last thing out and see if we, thank you, Carol. Violetta, thank you. Violet, thank you. I'll read the email. Alan. Joyce. 101, welcome back. Good to see you in the chat. Muddy Puddles, I like your name. If I was Nanos, I'd claim medical issues and well, I don't his ego won't let him do that. Rob, I have the answer for you. I'm a lawyer. He has to answer their questions with legal counsel. Ooh, Rob. Rob, if you could send me an email, email me something that I could post up and let the community know. Thank you, Rob. Rob is a lawyer. He's reporting. I have an answer. I have the answer for you. I'm a lawyer. He has to answer their questions with legal counsel. So this is really ramping things up. You know, this is he lied under oath is what Dr. Matt Hines is saying. Princeton Nanos is yep. Everybody is seeing what it playing out here. Shout out to okay, they're at Nancy's. Okay. Let them know I'm heading out that way. They said Rico Trump is going to get briefed on this mess. Yeah. I mean, look in, you can Google Rico funds and Nanos. He misused some funds allegedly. I don't know the whole exact story. Thank you, Gene. Trying to get to the comments. We're going to sign off. I will be back live on the car for a little bit. We're going to go see the other people out here. See if DGL, hopefully he's feeling better. Shout out Alex, Mark, John, everybody. JLR, if he ever makes it back to Tucson, we are here holding down the fort. But it looks like I got through most of the comments. Everybody's just saying, you know, hands clapping, awesome that he has to answer the questions. Let's hear he's a criminal with a badge and a gun. That's yeah, exactly. Then what's the answer? He lied, committed fraud with other things, perjury by Nanos on the Bible. Wags makes a good point there. The community needs its dignity back to be able to start. And yeah, there's lots of pieces. Nanos is one of them. So justice for Nancy. Thank you, mods. All right, guys, we got Princeton. I appreciate the super. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you, everybody. We will be back. I'm gonna do a little live drive here in a little bit and catch up with everybody. Maybe watch a sunset. And there is a new Brian Inton video. I don't know how long, but I was gonna play it. But maybe you guys can get ahead of me and see what it's about. Again, have a good day. Hope you're having a good night wherever you are. Thank you again, everybody who super chatted and stickered up. And thank you to all the regulars and anybody new. So thanks for subscribing. I will be back. Peace and love.